Hi. I'm going to go somewhere that I was not planning to go. I had no intentions of going to this subject, but I have to because it's on my mind so much today. Um, when I was working at this small company about 10 years ago near Atlanta, I worked with a young lady. She was 18 years younger than me. And it was just the two of us. We were the accounts receivable department. And I got word yesterday that she died. But this is so disturbing. When I worked with her, we sat by each other. I sat right behind her actually, but we worked together very closely for 2 years and we were close. Um, she told me some personal things, and I always suspected that she was being abused by her husband. She never actually said it, but I felt like she hinted it, and she would come in with these horrific bruises on her arms, her legs, one time she pulled up her shirt and showed me her side was all bruised up. Her husband was older than her. Well, he was close to my age and married her when she was very young. And he was one of those controlling kind that, he didn't allow her to have friends, because I tried to get together with her outside of work a few times and she wasn't allowed to do that. She wanted to. She seemed very normal in every way except about her husband and her bruises and stuff. Otherwise, she was a normal, socially normal type of person. It was not her choice to be isolated. But they lived out in the remote area away from Atlanta. And after I left the job, after 2 years, we kept in touch on Facebook. And not long after I left the job, only 1 or 2 years later, that they moved even to a more remote place, way down South Georgia, different area that was very remote. And, it makes sense that an abuser would be like that, because she was not a shy person. She was not the type to keep to herself. She enjoyed people. She wanted to have fun and a good time, but she wasn't allowed to. Very sad. And then, the only contact we had was on Facebook. She wasn't real active on Facebook, but every once in a while we would message, and or she would post something, and she actually, a couple of years later, she actually broke her back from falling. I think she may have been pushed. I encouraged her, and there was even another lady that worked with us in the accounts payable area of the office, and she and I both felt the same, like this young girl, she needs help. I guess she was in her 30s and I was in my 50s. But we tried to get her to ask us for help, and she would draw a line, like, she would only tell us so much. So what can you do? What can you do? So her husband posted yesterday, this is the husband, and my wife died yesterday. Period. Didn't give any reason for her death. So you can imagine what I think. either she killed herself, she couldn't stand it anymore, or it was something he did. I feel so horrible about it. I feel so bad. She was honestly one of the sweetest people I ever knew. She was so kind, considerate, patient, you name it. She had all the fruits of the spirit. She was a beautiful, beautiful person. And very submissive to her husband, all the way. I thought about even calling the sheriff or the coroner, but if the coroner is doing a good job, he'll know. And if he's a good man, he'll report it. Right? I shouldn't have to do that. I mean, they were cremating, and she's probably cremated already. It was 2 days ago that she passed. I heard about it yesterday. I can't think of anything else. After that, I feel so bad. Maybe I should have, flat out came out and said, "Are you being abused? Do you need help?" I was just waiting for her to say something. And the last contact I had with her was just a couple months ago, and I invited her to come see me because I asked her how she was, and she answers, "Okay." And in my mind, I knew that was not good because I know her. And I said, come down and see me. She didn't answer because I knew she couldn't. It wasn't that she didn't want to, because I invited her many times to do things and tried to get her, because she never could do anything without her husband. I feel so bad. I feel so bad for people like that. Thank God. I mean, I had problems in my marriages, and you will hear about those somewhat, at least as much as I can say, but no one, even my drunk dad, never physically abused me, praise God. My heart goes out to those women and who don't have the courage to do anything about it, because these men they make them feel so inadequate. They make them feel like they can't be on their own, they can't do anything, and they're scared. They're afraid if they leave, then they'll really get beat up, right? I did help one person once, and that story's coming up in that situation. But I feel so bad. So I'm gonna talk a little about other things, but I'm not a good griever. I've never been good at grieving. I have always suppressed my feelings. But I've tried, I can't suppress this. It's been 2 days now, and I can't get over it. Because she was such a sweet person, and I just feel like nobody helped her. And her obituary was out there today, and it gave no cause of death. And all it said about her was she liked to work in the yard, and she liked animals. She loved working in the yard, and she loved animals. And that girl was so much more than that. She loved everybody. She was an excellent accountant, being wasted on these small little businesses where she could have had a really very successful career in a very large corporation. She was smart, sharp. She had an accounting degree, and she was never allowed to work in any large company, only in these small. She went from a small business where I worked with her to a very small little dinky business in a small little dinky town. What a wasted life. I feel it's so sad. So sad. If you know anybody, suspect anybody, speak up and just flat out ask them, Do you need help? Is there anything I can do to help you? I wish I would have said it to her, but I know what she would have said. She was scared. I don't think she would have done anything. I don't know. But if you're willing to stick your neck out, do it. She was only 51 years old. And being that nothing posted about cause of death, it had to be either suicide or under investigation, I would say possible homicide. We'll see. If I find out anything more, I'll let you know. So I've used up, boy, I can't read anything without my glasses, and I know I look like crap because I feel like crap. Oh, what I have to say is that, so I've been feeling really tired because of my Epstein-Barr, right? And then I learned from somebody that I know told me that he got the Regeneron, the monoclonial antibody infusion. Here in Florida, it's available for free because the governor here got a certain amount, and he was given it, and it was for people who, when you first get COVID, you can get this, and it's supposed to help you, so it stops the progression of the disease, right? And I did not have COVID, but because of my Epstein-Barr, the chronic Epstein-Barr virus that I have, I found out that I was eligible as a pre-existing autoimmune, immunocompromised, all of those things I am. So I was allowed to get it for free. And I went and got it. It was unusual because it was different from any other injection I ever got. It was 4 shots with a small needle. They said that the needle was only half the size of a regular needle. Not even. It was like not even an inch big. But it's not like a regular shot that goes immediately. It goes very slow, and you can feel it very slow. I don't know. At least 1 minute, I would say, maybe more. And you could feel it like a little sting the whole time it's going in. 1 in each arm and 1 on each side of the abdomen. And one of them hurt quite a bit. I mean, I got vocal about it. And then the other one, that was 1 in the abdomen. The other one in the abdomen, I felt absolutely nothing. But the 2 in the arms, I felt like I just told you. Steady, stinging sensation for at least a solid minute. It might have been 2 or 3 or 4 minutes because it was quite a while. It was very slow, very unusual. Nothing. I never had anything like that. They call it an infusion. So that was that experience. I had to drive all the way to Apopka, 90 minutes to get it because all that was available around here close to me was already used up. The supply was gone, and they weren't able to tell me if they were going to get any more or when. Or anyway, I didn't want to wait because my hope is that it'll help me feel better over the holidays because there's a lot of things coming up. Things, dances and dinners and, stuff going on that I'm invited to, and I'd like to have a good time over the holidays. So I'm hoping that I might have a little more energy so I can enjoy. So that's why I did it. I'm taking a risk because it is experimental. Actually, just yesterday, the FDA approved it for emergency use. But yeah, it is an experimental drug, and it's a mixture of a whole bunch of synthetic stuff and clones of clones of things from the abortions and from the mice and all different kinds of things that I don't like putting in my body, but I feel so much like crap most of the time. I'm willing to take the risk so I can enjoy my life a little bit while I'm still alive, right? I know today I look half dead because I didn't bother fixing up for this thing. I feel like I'm grieving. So I'm gonna look like I'm grieving. You know, I I want to cry, and maybe I will. I don't usually. I mean, I have a hard time crying because um I think I told you, but when I was little, I was not allowed to cry. Um, Even as an adult, my mother would. The few times I could name you every single time I ever cried in my whole life because there's been so few, less than 10, I'm sure. And every time I cried, I mean, once my husband yelled at me and told me to shut up when I cried when my grandmother died. He yelled at me and told me to shut up. And that's exactly what my mother always did to me. And even as an adult. So I cried at the cemetery with her when over my stepson's grave. And she yelled at me to shut up. And I cried when my neighbor, when my mom was living with me when I was taking care of her, my neighbor got the necrotizing fasciitis and she had to have her whole leg amputated. She was only in her mid-30s. She had to have her whole leg amputated. And I cried, and my mother yelled at me to shut up. So it's like every time I try to let it out, or, naturally let it out, somebody yells at me to shut up. All my life. So I hold it in. I don't even feel like crying most of the time. I mean, I can feel sad. Doesn't mean I have no feelings. I can hurt very much inside, but it just doesn't come out as tears because I've learned to suppress that. And they say it's unhealthy, but maybe I'll cry tonight. We'll see. Okay, well, I'm sorry this is a sad one, and it's almost, my 20 minutes is almost up, but might as well stop it now. Next time we'll be happier, I promise. I'll try to do one. I'll do one soon. Okay. Thanks for watching.